Much Troy to the max extreme here.
Dinosaur Neil.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
And together, we so humans. Don't like that one. Skip it. We form a monstrous trio as Imperius Rex.
I think I like the first one.
Yeah, so humans.
Yeah.
Good.
And it's good because we can use it for this one and
And
next
the next
week.
one,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll just use it twice.
Yep. So, the skies have parted, the sun has shined on us, and Troy has made his triumphant return to the Imperius Rex studio. Yeah. The mysterious third member has returned.
It's been a while.
It's been too long, Troy.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I almost cobbled together my own version of you out of meat parts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And where is it?
I got a little hungry. Neil's been filling in like a champ.
Thanks.
Haven't missed a beat.
I'm watching
But
every
now that
episode.
you're back, if you
You can't just be fucking around, okay? We
No.
gotta get down to brass tacks.
That's right. We've got a monster to build here.
That's right.
So, if you're interested in just us chit-chatting, we got a whole other episode about that. Us rekindling our love affair with each other.
Yes.
But that'll be later. Right now, Frankenstein. Junji Ito's Frankenstein. For Christ's sake, we're in the midst of Junjiuary.
Yes.
In the throes.
In the throes of it. And we thought, you know, we've already come.
Holding up this up.
Why don't you hold that up? It's a Frankenstein.
Is that like a Berenstain type thing? That doesn't have to be kept either.
No. I feel like I should say right up top, Junjiuary continues to provide next week, maybe this week by the time this airs. We're recording this, by the way, on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Spookiest time of the year. Luckily, every time we've recorded a Junji It'o, it's been the spookiest time of the year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is a Junji It'o collection of animated episodes hitting Netflix right now, maybe, called Maniac.
Woo!
It has adaptations of a couple of the laugh riots that we've covered on the show in the past.
Oh, I can't wait.
And a bunch more that I don't know what to expect out of. So, just a Junjiuary miracle. Wasn't planned, just everything seemed to align, and my lord.
Golly.
What a gift.
What a gift Junji has given us.
I know. One other quick, interesting bit of Junji trivia, as we dubbed it.
Yes.
As we said on our previous episode, Junji It'o won the illustrious Best Writer-Artist Award, the Eisner Award, for his Remina work that we covered last week. 2 years prior to that, he won an Eisner, his first Eisner, for Best Adaptation from Another Medium for none other than Frankenstein.
Wow! Oh!
So look at that. 2 award winners.
Wow.
Junjiuary out of the gates hot. Hot. and
Hot!
hard. So let's do it. Let's ride that momentum.
Let's do it.
Troy, get your kids under control up there.
Not possible.
All right. Well, we're just going to persevere. We've got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Junji Ito's Frankenstein. Tell me about it.
Frankenstein. So there's a Dr. Frankenstein, not to be confused with the Frankenstein's monster.
I've been calling him Frankenstein this whole
You
time.
fool!
Oh my god.
So he's on a boat.
I deserve everything that I got.
Yeah.
He's on a boat with a bunch of fellas.
Yeah.
And they're going to the North Pole.
Actually, he's not.
Who?
Frankenstein. They find him. The boatsmen find him.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Let me start over.
Nah.
There's a guy called Frankenstein. He's not on a boat.
And he's not
yet.
a monster.
Yeah. No, he's
Although,
not.
some may argue that he is.
Who's the monster?
Who's the real monster?
That's
Neil,
true.
would you like to say anything?
I would say they're both monsters.
Also, who's on a boat?
Well, the boatsman.
The S.
And then eventually, Victor Frankenstein.
There we go. We've got it all ironed out here.
That's half
See
the
you,
plot
ladies.
right there.
See you, ladies and gents. We've got it done.
Yep.
We did it again.
Long story short, you know the story of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So we don't have to run this into the ground.
Right.
It's a pretty traditional adaptation of your Frankenstein.
But there's a boat.
There's usually a boat.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well. Wait, who's the guy who owns the boat?
The captain,
Yeah.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
on a mission to the poles
To find Santa. No.
to find magnetism.
Yes.
The real meaning of Christmas.
Yup.
He does spout a line that says something like, "The man who masters magnetism could rule the world."
My favorite part about that whole bit, spoiler
magnetism.
alert, yeah, spoiler alert, they're like, it's cold, let's go back. And they stopped entirely. Never found magnetism. Went back, a bunch of losers.
I can only imagine they get to the North Pole, they look at their compass, it goes in a circle, and they're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh shit, there's magnetism nowhere.
Oh my god.
It's cold, I'm going home. Yeah. But amongst the cold, they look out, guy up in the crow's nest. Yo ho! There's a big bitch out there. It's just a big man mushing these dogs.
I love the dog sled.
And the circles around the whole crew. It's like, oh man, you see that big man? It's like an 8-foot man with those dogs. Were
Look
they
at mush.
Were they regular sized dogs? Yeah. Pulling a big man.
Yeah.
What's up with that? I don't know. Let's go to bed. So next
I don't
day,
know. Magnets.
they look out again and they're like, ho ho! There's a man right there on a boat.
Regular size
Or is he
man.
on another sled? I don't remember.
I think he's on a sled.
Yeah, he's in a
He's
sled.
not
He's
much
on
of a-
another sled.
Not a boatsman, as we've
Well,
established.
who's in the small boat? A lot of people look the same in this. Anyway, that man, whatever mode of transport he had,
Right.
was Victor Frankenstein.
My God. There you
Taken
have it.
aboard said boat,
Uh-huh.
and then questioned about his entire life. This where it gets uninteresting. I wanted to hear more about this boat and magnets. It's from like his humble beginnings as just boy Victor.
Yeah.
Who, like, I like alchemy, I think.
Uh-huh.
Well, you fool, you should get into science. All right. And so he meets a guy when he's older.
Big magnet hasn't completely taken the world by
Yeah.
storm yet.
And he's still hung up on like, man, alchemy can work though.
Oh, man.
I really think it's got a chance. And so he gets crazed. This is him as an not boy Victor. This
No.
is
Adolescent young man.
this is young Victor.
Right. So
But older than young kid Victor.
he's in college, ready to settle down, so
Yeah.
probably about 14.
Yep. Right, yep. He's got a love of his life, and he's like, not now. I've got things I need to do.
And
that,
we should say also this young woman who he's supposed to fall in love with is just somebody to like, you're living with us now. And
Yeah.
Victor, your husband, soon to be husband.
yeah.
Maybe his sister?
Is his cousin? Yeah. Like, I think once they say it's his cousin, and I'm like, whatever, it's like the 40s.
Part of the family. Yeah.
The 40s.
I
Yeah.
don't think it was the 40s.
It doesn't matter what it is.
1740s,
Yeah.
maybe.
But anyway, he's like, not now. I haven't got the time for you. I need to dig up these bodies and put them
Alchemy.
together.
Yeah.
I really got a hunch this is gonna work.
This is gonna be great.
Yeah, so
For everyone.
he does the whole Frankenstein bit
Mm-hmm.
where he's digging up bodies,
Digs up the bodies.
piecing them together to make a very large
larger body.
Yeah, a large man. And not like large, like large.
Yeah.
Long, large.
Here's something that I've never understood about Frankenstein in any medium.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he have to sew all the different pieces? There's no good one body out there.
Because he digs up seemingly many bodies.
Yeah.
So there's
More
a
than necessary.
well, there's
These arms aren't long enough.
yeah. As far as the body parts are concerned, there's the one part that I probably laughed the hardest at, which was, it's kind of weird to say when you're going to say it out loud, is when he's looking for a head for the next body he's going to build.
Oh.
And they're all fucking crushed by rocks or some shit like that. So it's like, maybe there are no good parts out there.
true.
Everyone's been
Where did he
crushed by a
find the
boulder.
big head? Did
That-
he piece together heads?
I mean,
You would think that's how it works.
he's full of scars.
he's all
like,
stitched
it's a
up.
patchwork. Here's the other thing. I think, from my knowledge of the Frankenstein mythos,
Yeah.
I thought that the brain that he got was an actual brain, and the brain was bad
Yeah.
in some incarnations.
Yes.
In this, he crafts the brain
Yes.
through alchemy.
Yes.
I feel like this is the only departure that Itto took with this.
Quite possibly. I've never read the original Frankenstein.
I've never read the original, but I've
But
read
seen
the
Young
Cliff Notes.
Frankenstein.
Right, same thing. They put on the Ritz.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. But that, I think, was like the only really serious Junji Ito twist, and it wasn't as twisty as I want my Junji Ito to be. So, full disclosure, right up top, before we get into more on the boats or the dogs or the mush.
Yeah.
This is a very solid adaptation. I think it's painstakingly and lovingly crafted, but it never did more than just tell the standard story of Frankenstein.
Right.
And if you get Junji Ito to give you a Frankenstein, I want him to Junji it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's kind of pedestrian.
So, like, all the things we've done before.
Take back the Eisner.
Wow! Whoa!
It's his first. It's probably his nearest and dearest. Show him we're playing for keeps.
I found it funny that they just give out Eisners for people who are like, this guy just did a copy of this book. Give him an Eisner. Fuck Mary Shelley.
I'll give her an Eisner,
yeah. But yeah, it was quite pedestrian. I was waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, they're also gonna fall in a crack and like become slithery Frankenstein people, or their
like
head
a
will.
Shin Godzilla version of Frankenstein.
Exactly.
Where he's just a big wiggly boy.
Yeah.
Googly eyes.
That never happened.
He does have kind of the model Fucci smile and grimace, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
And he does a big ol' laugh.
Yeah,
Similar
he
to
does
her.
a big ol'
has
laugh.
a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Junji Ito. But it never gets, like, truly bizarre.
Right. Story-wise, no, but I would still say the artwork is creepy. If you're looking for... If you're interested in the artwork for this, Junji Ito does not disappoint at all. It's still exactly what you want. But usually you see an enormous 8-foot tongue sticking out of somebody's face. Or a planet. Who fucking knows anymore? Right. But this is pretty grounded, but still in that Junji style where Frankenstein looks really creepy. Yeah. He doesn't look like he doesn't have like the bolts in the neck like you're... Yeah, I don't think there was ever any lightning that struck him.
No.
I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah. Just bottles.
Yeah. That was one of my things I wanted to bring up is they talk about electricity once, and he's like, I want to harness that. And then eventually he just sticks a bunch of syringes in a man's face and then he's alive. Like, what? What's in the bottles? Yeah. What? Listen. Probably
lightning.
Miller Lite.
Lightning in a bottle.
I wish. The bottles are clear. Didn't see one single strike in there.
Heat lightning.
Never thought about that.
Was it cloudy?
Maybe it was mountain lightning.
The Walmart Mountain Dew.
Yeah. That's the only thing that makes sense.
So does that make him Dr. Thunder?
Oh! Shit! It really does.
Oh.
If anything, he's Diet Dr. Thunder.
He is.
But yeah, otherwise, it's a solid take on Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some moments in it that I had some fun with. Before I get into those, one other thing that always strikes me goofy about any Frankenstein thing, for one, he's making the monster. Yeah. He is aware of how grotesque it looks. Yeah. Why is he so surprised when it comes to life? His whole endgame is to bring it to life, and then it comes to life, and he's like, "Ah!"
He's
Didn't think it was actually gonna work.
He finally got that post-nut clarity. Yeah!
Yeah.
When he sees it, he's like, what have I done? Yeah. This is a mess. There's a mess everywhere.
How am I gonna tell my sister about this?
My sister wife. Yeah.
Oh.
Also, okay, can we talk about like his family that's left behind for a little bit? Yeah.
And Henry, his best friend.
Oh,
he was at his side throughout
what
all
a
of
legend.
This.
His family left behind, it's like his grandpa or his keeper or whatever, his sister wife, and his baby brother. And like, they're off doing their own thing. The Frankenstein monster's already been created, and he's just like chilling out with, what's his friend's name? Hank?
Henry.
Close enough.
Yeah. Good old Henry.
And he's like, oh, I made a monster or whatever, but I can't find it. And then it turns out it's just mangled this kid and all this shit. But like, that whole scene played out very weird, where like, they're having like a picnic or whatever. And then, like, in that same park, Frankenstein shows up and kills that kid. Nobody else like was like, I guess it was the 40s, so they're just like, let them do what they want. They'll be back later.
Got it. They're just reeling from that Great War.
Yeah. He's like an 8-foot tall motherfucker. You didn't see this monstrous cloaked
monster like come after this kid and he didn't scream and everybody in that park heard?
And not only that, but he's a conniving monster because he sets up like the caretaker to take the fall for it. She gets her head lopped off in a very hilarious illustration. It just pops right off.
Yeah.
God, love a good guillotine.
Oh man, we should buy one.
Yes. Can be the new spinning wheel. It plays out normally how Frankenstein does. And
how we just have to start every sentence like that.
Yeah.
So it's Frankenstein.
Right. You ever read Frankenstein? Alright, you've seen the movie. But it gets to the point where Frankenstein sits down with Victor and says like, hey, I'm a freak, you're a freak.
Yeah, make me a freak.
Make me a freak. Make me a bride so grotesque that only I could love her.
Yeah.
So he does. And this is after Frankenstein offers him a piece of bear.
Yeah.
He's just munching on.
My one screenshot from this book is when Victor and him are in a shack.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I got some bear, and he offers him a bear paw.
Bear?
Like, you bear? And it's just like, what?
So
also, Frankenstein lives in a shed in a very small house with 3 other people, and they never notice that big bitch.
To be fair, one's blind.
That's true. But I would assume, like, his stink has to be coalesced with his ugliness, his physical ugliness.
He is literally a rotting many rotting corpses.
Strewn together.
Yes.
I always wondered that about every iteration of Frankenstein, whether he's living in a shed or just peering in a window, learning English. Like,
Right,
what?
yes. He just learns it from hearing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe
got that alchemy brain.
Yeah,
That's true. He's plump full of mountain lightning.
So Victor makes him a bride. They snatch up the head of the housekeeper that lost it because of Frankenstein's crimes. Make her a real long body. Stick it on her. Frankenstein's looking through the window, happy as can be. And then eventually, like, this happens very quickly. She comes to life and, like, sees him, sees herself, is revolted to the point where, like, she essentially just rips her own head off, right? She's like, no, fuck this, I'm done.
Yeah. She hated it.
She hated it. She hated him.
Yeah.
Wasn't in a good place.
No, she didn't have the Marge Simpson hair either.
No, she didn't.
That's too bad. But she did rip her head off, so that's
Right.
yeah, that's pretty extreme.
The monster is a huge dick in this.
Oh, terrible.
Maybe that's another thing that's, you know, it's kind of different in this. He is not sympathetic in the slightest.
No.
Most of the time, Frankenstein's got like this misunderstood soul. In this, he's just a piece of shit from day one.
Yeah. Always has been, always will be.
Oh, hated him.
Yeah.
We all hated him.
Yeah. And then he's like, can't catch me. He's like, I'm gonna kill your family, come get me. And then, so it's like, then it's just like a chase around the world, and like Victor Frankenstein is like just off to play of the biggest game of tag ever, I guess.
Which I feel like it happens in like 2 pages, and he
Yeah.
gets home, everyone's dead, and then off to the Arctic.
Yeah.
And here's where we
Now
we
we're
left
back
you.
on the boat,
Yep.
baby.
And also, I'm dead now. He barely spits out the story before he's done.
Yeah.
My favorite bit is that Victor Frankenstein regaling his story to all this boatsmen, and then he's like, all right, we'll let you rest. And then they go back and they're like, he's dead. And he like, Victor Frankenstein dies off screen, and some guy just has to say, yeah, he died like 80 minutes ago, or some shit like that.
Never had a chance.
Yeah.
Quick cut to Frankenstein's monster in the snow, just like, no! I can feel it! Oh, shit. Turns out they were one and the same. I
Both
guess.
monsters in the end.
I don't know what to take away from it.
It kind of ends with just the monster in the frozen tundra, just being like, I have these dogs in a sled still.
You know, it would have been great if the monster discovered magnetism. Brought it back to the mainland, and then he gets to wear a fancy hat.
Oh my god.
What else happened in this book?
I think that was about it.
Frankenstein.
It's Frankenstein.
Great.
So, after this, and even before this, it got my gears spinning. What other famous horror archetypes or characters would you like to see Junji It'o put a spin on? Maybe get a little more creative than he did with Frankenstein.
Okay.
For one, I think I would love to see him do like the whole Universal monster slate.
That'd be cool.
Do a werewolf.
Could you imagine
a creature
from the Black Lagoon?
Oh my God.
He'd have
Farting?
Yeah. Are we on the same cycle?
I think we are. A Dracula.
Dracula, of course, a Dracula. What's the other ones? Mummies.
Mummies. I feel
that actually might be neat.
Yeah. I would love to see just like a collection where maybe just, 30 pages for each. Just tell a little fun story on these guys.
Think of how many Eisners you could win, Junji.
Oh my
I know
Lord.
you're watching.
And why stop there? You could go to modern slashers. Like do a Jason Voorhees, just like a ragged unstoppable zombie, a Frederick Krueger, a Ghostface.
Yeah.
We opened this up to our Discord. They mentioned It Follows, The Ring, Smile, It. These all seem like just perfect for a Junji It'o take.
Yeah. Babadook.
A Babadook.
Oh, that would be good.
And like he doesn't even have to follow the story. Just like take the essence of the character and just get weird with it.
That's true.
Ginge it up.
On the counterpoint to all this, maybe you should just do what he keeps doing.
Yeah.
Also that.
This wasn't that very good. So.
Mostly because he literally can take anything and make a weird, scary story about it. Like a man under a post, for example.
Scary or hilarious.
People with big heads, big looking planets, you name it. He's got way more brilliant ideas that he can turn into something spooky than regurgitating something like this, I guess. But
very true.
Also,
thanks for bringing us down to earth.
You're welcome.
But I'd still like to see those other things.
I love a good cover. You know? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but this book doesn't stop there, because not only does it contain the titular Frankenstein, it also has a collection of 6 kind of intertwined tales involving a small child named Ashikiri.
Yes.
So this short little piece of shit.
Yeah. God,
I think he was like, I drew this big tall thing forever. Now I want to rip on the short guy.
Yep.
This little kid who obviously has some issues with his height. He lives by himself in this creepy old mansion because his parents are always away at work overseas or something. Yeah. And boy, does he have some adventures in that that house. Most of them height related.
The first one, very height related.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about the ones with the long necks and long bodies after.
Yeah.
Golly, what a great story.
Yeah, so
this is the Junji I want.
Yeah, see, that's exactly it. So like this short kid has like a complex, and like the Junji twist is interesting in this one because like you don't know if it's real or not, kind of a thing. So he sees people and like they get like a really long neck or really long legs or a combination of the two to gruesome effect, because one is dead because that he killed and buried under his floor, and it's like growing longer, so he's digging him up. He's like, I think this is where I buried him, and he just sees a huge neck. And you're like, what? And that's pretty much how this goes.
Yeah, that's
the first story. Yes.
But that's a great story.
Yep. Yeah, and he killed him because he
was tall. And like this girl was like, I only like tall boys. She didn't actually say that, he just assumed
but
that.
She liked she said it with her eyes.
Yeah.
Anyway, he killed him. Buried him, and is like, I kind of want to see the body or whatever. Goes to dig him up. Oh shit, it's all neck. I'll just keep digging. And it's like neck for miles, or whatever it is. And then it finally gets to like...
It's into next week.
Yeah. Oh, God. Nice. Next week. Oh. But anyway, that's it. People are
That's that one.
Yeah. I want to say, just the quick note on this one is that the Junji twist in this is that like, he sees all this happening. No one else cares, but like, it might still physically be happening. Like, this kid's legs grow really long, and then he hits his head, he's like, ow, my head! But doesn't care that his legs are both, like, 16 feet long. So it's, and even the people, like...
The police dig him up,
and they're like, weird looking. But it's just like, Finn. Then you're done. Okay?
Yeah. And then the next story, which I think is kind of unrelated, but it's around the same person. It's like the haunted bog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we definitely are reacquainted with how fucking short he is and how this is bothersome. But it's about a bog that people drown in, and it's apparently haunted. And like the nature society at school wants to like clean up the grounds, but they're like, but not that. It's a haunted bog, you know?
Can't go in there. Haunted bog.
You go in there, you're gonna drown.
Yeah.
And this kid, Oshikiri's best friend, he wants to go, but he's also very popular with the ladies.
Very popular.
They won't leave him alone. Can't get a word in with all their squealing, and it is repulsive. They're awful. So he's like climbing up the bog, the bog wall, falls in, never comes out. And they're like, oh my god, bog claimed another victim.
Yeah.
They try to get...
done it again.
Yep. They try to get to the bottom of it, and as it turns out, that kid, popular kid, just faked his death to get away from those fucking awful women. And there's some supernatural in it, but that's kind of the gist of that one.
Yeah. You know what's also weird about that? Didn't hate this popular guy for being tall.
No. There's more to Oshikiri than meets the eye. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that other kid, one with the neck,
Yep.
deserved it. Maybe this kid, popular, because he was nice.
How can you hate that
Both
guy?
tall.
So fucking
The women
charming.
loved him.
The women loved him. The men wanted to be him.
Anyway, that's all I gotta say about that.
Yep.
But there's like, happens to be like ghosts or whatever, and it's like, This one, this one I thought was like low tier Junji.
Yeah, wasn't a big fan. Did love that this popular kid hated these women so much
Did
that he
like
faked
that.
his own death. Big dad energy.
Yeah.
If there was a post, this kid would be under it.
Oh,
He'd be like, I'm good here. I'm just gonna waste away.
Yep.
So then there's one other kind of oddball story that doesn't quite fit in with the haunted house motif. And it's like the pen pal one.
Yeah.
Where Oshikiri does develop kind of a love interest. This woman befriends him. They hit it off nice. But she has correspondence with some pen pals, and they just start fucking ripping on her for turncoating on him and hanging out with this short piece of shit. Apologize to anyone who's short. We're just really digging into this for a laugh. Nothing against any short people. If anything, I don't like really tall people. So if you're tall and you're watching this...
Fuck you too.
We're trying to alienate everybody.
Yeah.
Luckily, not many people watch these videos. What was I saying? So her pen pals, they're like, fuck you, you're with this short kid, we don't like you anymore. She's beside herself, and eventually, like, she gets so crazed, she kills herself.
Yeah.
And Oshikiri looks over these letters, and he's like, it's in her handwriting. So she's writing these letters to herself.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, it ends with him getting a letter from a pen pal, and it's his own handwriting. And that's it. And then it's never addressed again. I thought this was a really cool concept. It feels out of place in this, because it doesn't have anything to do with his main story.
Right.
But I was like,
that's a good Twilight Zone episode. I like that.
It is a good Twilight Zone.
Yeah. I almost kind of wanted to like have this one expounded upon just a little bit more. Because I felt like once the realization was on, it's like, oh, she's just like schizophrenic or whatever, and writing to herself, multiple personalities, whatever it is. And then just like, and it's like, oh shit, I'm doing it too. Finn.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, like, all right.
So all these oddball Oshikiri moments, are they all him? Or are they doppelgangers from alternate realities? Which is the weird twist that this takes for the rest of the story. Where there is just this whole concept that his house is like a nexus of alternate realities. And all these alternate Oshikiris are going into our reality to dump bodies of tall people. And he's knocking off left and right.
Yeah.
So he actually, like, ends up crossing paths with, like, the Scooby Gang. This group of kids that are just all in on alternate realities.
Yeah.
And my favorite moment is he's just, like, this self-conscious kid, and he's sitting in the library reading, like, this book.
Short book.
Short book. And then the group that's talking about the alternate realities, they're like, oh, like the Bermuda Triangle? Yeah! They walk over, look at the book he's reading, grab it, and they're like, yeah, it's like in this
Give me that, you
book.
short piece of shit.
And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, were you reading that? It was just such a power play. But they end up becoming...
all about that.
Yeah, they end up becoming fast friends. They go investigate his house. They're looking around, hearing footsteps, and all of a sudden they look out the window, and there's Ashikiri burying a body. And his reaction is so good. He's looking at our Ashikiri of this reality, Earth Prime, is looking down at him from the window, and he's like, damn it! Hey, you! Stop it! Stop it! This is my house! They dig up the bodies, and it's none other than his friends there.
Yeah.
Alternate versions.
I know.
I think I need long necks under there and run out of space.
I also like these
Half
guys...
of this subterranean ground is just next.
the Scooby Gang, like one of them, like immediately plays it off. It's like, no, it's not haunted. It's alternate reality. Like,
Right.
How did you get? It ends up being that, like,
You know, like the Bermuda Triangle.
it's an alternate reality. Like,
Obviously.
Nah, to be fair, that's one of my favorite Junji Itto-isms, I guess, is that the conclusion they jump to, which is absolutely ridiculous, is just true.
Yes.
Fuck everything, like, it's amazing.
It's not this, it's obviously this.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, the end.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then as it goes on, evil Ashikiri keeps coming into this reality and fucking things up. He ends up making a concoction to make him taller. And he's testing it on the friends, that's their corpses. But once he, like, injects them, they just blow up into this big mess of gross, melty flesh. So that didn't work. And then the real Ashikiri ends up, like, getting the better of him, sticking him, and then he sprouts weird long limbs, and that's that. And it ends eventually with his parents returning home. And they're like, wow, what have you been up to?
What's with all these necks?
And old Ashi, he's like, well, there's like a body halfway in the wall, and all this weird stuff's happening. Turns out his parents, they're like, oh yeah, that. We're also from an alternate reality.
Oh,
On our reality, this house fell over. And we need a place to live, so we're crashing here.
Yeah.
Our version of you is on his way. Oh, that's him now. And he's stuck in a wall. And they're like trying to pull him through, and then they all get sucked in. And he just hears their screams echoing through the walls of the house. And it turns out that, like, people are just coming through into his reality and getting stuck in the walls. And that's why the house is haunted.
That's
and
what
also,
happens.
now he's done writing this.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you discover magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Shit
God.
goes awry.
Yeah.
Man. Should have left it in the North Pole where it belonged.
First off, I want to talk... Well, okay, first off, we'll get the one thing out of the way. I'm glad you read all of the book and not just the Frankenstein portion of this book.
Let me correct you. I didn't finish it. Because you know what?
Fair enough.
Ashikiri is an annoying bitch. I'm like, I'm fucking over it. And I just stopped reading it.
And that's my next point is I found, like, why these with Frankenstein?
I wondered that too.
Yeah.
They just needed to pad it out, I
Maybe
guess.
that's
But
it.
why?
Like, all of our books
Why?
all of our books are 400 pages, and I got 200 pages of this Ashikiri kid that I could stick with Frankenstein. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we were talking earlier, like, none of these stories are new.
Mountain lightning.
There it is.
shit!
Yeah.
Bottled right
So I
there.
hear. All of these have been written and published in Japan for years.
Yeah.
So they're just like, every couple months, they just publish another collection of them. And he just has like a mountain of work. So they're just like, we need 400 pages. That'll do. Grab a chunk of it and put it in and smash it in.
I guess to be fair, maybe these were... Maybe it's not fair, but like these are the weaker ones, I would say, for Itto, the Ashikiri stuff. So maybe tucking them in with Frankenstein is a way to get rid of them.
Coasting on Frankenstein's coattails.
Yeah.
I liked half of them on
Yeah,
this, I would
it's
say.
some good stuff.
I don't know if
Peak for me with the necks.
Yeah. all downhill from there.
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't all need to be interconnected. Like, they could have just been odd stories.
Yeah.
Like, I was on, like, the third story before I realized they were all about the same kid.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, what's his obsession with picking on short people in this volume? And then I realized, like, oh, it's the same short kid. Okay, I hate him too.
Yeah. I got to, like, the same deal. Third story, I'm like, this fucking kid won't quit. And, like, not in the good way. Yeah. So, like, I got done with the melty one, and I'm like, alright. I get it. This kid's a prick. Lives in a haunted house. Whatever. I'm over it. Like, I don't like it.
All right.
That's it.
That's
how this book did me. Started out mediocre, ended bad.
Wow.
Peaked with neck. Right. That was the denouement of the story for me.
All right. Well,
neck.
you know, as we said, Junjiuary giveth, Junjiuary taketh away.
That's right.
So they can't all be winners.
That's true. But loyal viewers out there, have you read this collection? What do you think of Junji's take on Frankenstein? What do you think of that short little piece of shit? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll start a conversation down there.
Frankenstein should have strangled him like he did that other little kid.
Can you imagine?
Imagine strangling someone with their neck keeps getting back. Like,
You have to like, use the back. Yeah. Oh, God. Holy shit, now that's a Junji story.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like that one children's toy that like taught you to like shake and strangle. They had to pull them all from the shelves because kids were strangling their baby siblings.
Good God.
Remember that?
I don't.
I'll show a picture of it. I'm sure I can find an ad.
Very good. But that's going to be it. So, if you enjoyed the conversation down below, you can also have a conversation on our Patreon. Ooh. And with that, you get access to our Discord. Where most of the conversations happen.
Yeah.
Patreon is just a door to a greater room.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you'd also maybe like merch, we have merch at redbubble.com. You can check that out too.
That's right. Get yourself a print of Troy under a post.
That's right. You can probably get on a magnet.
Oh!
Once they figure those out.
I think we're close. The technology is creeping up.
Somebody send a boat.
But that's going to do it for this show. Thanks for joining us once again. Until next time, I have been Troy to the Max Extreme.
I've been Dinosaur Neil.
And I've been that long-necked ghost hunter, Dave.
Give me that neck. We've been Imperious Rex. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Jibber jabber is a loud clown. His fuzzy head wobbles all around. Give him a shake, that's all it'll take. See what Jibber jabber's got to say.
You don't say.
Yep. Jibber jabber goes every place. He'll talk to you till you're blue in the face. Shake him around, all around town, and hear him make a jibber jabbery sound.
Oh, really?
Yep. He's the very best talker around. Jibber jabber from Earl.
All right. How you doing on that Miller? Is that a Miller?
It's about a third of the way gone.
Okay. You want a ghastly ghoulish beer?
Give me a guess.
I think you should pre-load them up. Get some in the chamber, you know? Put one on deck. Sports.
Cork it. Cork that bat and chug it.
Bung it. Wait, is the bung the hole or the thing you plug the hole with?
I
think it's the thing.
It's the thing you put in. Because that you put it in a bung hole. Seems like a weird thing.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah. Why don't you just call it a hole?
Too easy.
Is the whole thing a bung then? I've never.
No.
You don't call the whole. You don't call a cask a bung, or do you?
We haven't been.
Record this.
It's already
Is
recording.
this recording?
Yes.
Okay, great. This is important stinger questions.
I know. We've actually been at a loss for good stingers. So this is just what the doctor ordered. Dr. Frankenstein, of course. He'd know about a bunghole.
Oh yeah, he's probably had to
Bats
plug
or
a few.
butts. Yeah. He could weigh in.
We'll see about that.
All right. We'll throw the question out at the end.
Just answer down below.
Yep.
What's a hole? What's a bung hole? What's the difference?
Right.
One's in a bung.
Why do they call it a bung?
See?
Fuck it. Schrodinger's bung.
Ready?
Yep. You still do this?
I'm gonna be greasy.
How? Greasy?
Is that a good thing? I don't know. I just had a bunch of pizza, so I'm just greasy all.
And
I literally picked slime out of my beard earlier.
God.
All that salad oil.
Yes.
You shotgunned on the way down here.
Salad. Fuck.
God, I'm almost in a puke. I'm gonna really need to chug the rest of this.
I was supposed to be here by 8 a.m.
It's that military time.
Okay, here we go.
We have fun here.
I didn't care for that.
You weren't in on the military time conversation? Separate chat?
No, I was in the chat. I was just annoyed.
didn't care.
Whose boat is this?
It's on my fucking boat!
Well, who's the guy's boat?